Good morning, everybody. Okay, as promised, here's quiz 102. Now, I'm not doing a whole quiz, and I'm not going to be doing every one of your problems likely, but I went through and I pulled the ones that seem to be problems that might be a little bit more challenging, might be a little bit harder to do, that you might need a little bit of help on. Okay, we have several this time, so let's get started. The first one says point E is the midpoint of AB and point F is the midpoint of CD. All right, let's look at this just a moment. Okay, I like to use some color here. Let's try to highlight these a little bit. All right, here's AB. And it's telling you that E is the midpoint. Okay, so that also tells us that AE is equal to EB. Okay, if that's the midpoint. It tells us that CD is intersecting AB. Okay, all right. And then we have CD, which has a midpoint of F. Okay, that means FD equals CF, those two pieces, because it's cut in half. CD is intersecting AB. AB intersects CD. All right, it says which statements about the figure must be true. Select three options. Always pay attention when it says this because you need three answers. Okay, AB is bisected by CD. All right, CD intersects AB at point E. And we were told that point E is a midpoint. So yes, because E is a midpoint. Okay. All right. Line CD is bisected by AB. Okay, we're turning it around this time. Does AB bisect it? Well, in order to bisect, to cut CD into two parts, it would have to go through F, and it doesn't go through F. So that one is a no. All right, AE, all right, this is the upper half of AB, is half of AB. Well, E is the midpoint, so if E is halfway, then AE would be, in fact, half of that line segment. So yes, again, and our reason is because E is a midpoint. All right, EF, and here is EF right along here, is half of ED. All right, half of ED. So here's ED. Now stop and think. F is the midpoint of CD. So it stands to reason that these two parts would not be equal, would they? EF and FD, because CF and FD would be equal. So that one is a no. All right. And lastly, CE plus EF equal FD. All right, CE plus EF, whoops, let's see if I can figure out how to erase that. Whoops. Oh, there we go. Good job. All right, EF equal, look at it. Here's C, here's F. So CE plus EF equals CF. And we know that CF equals DF. So yes, this one is true. All right. So let me underline. So that's this first one is true, this third one is true, and the last one is true. All right. These are not easy questions, guys. You cannot just boom right through one of these quizzes. You have to stop and think. All right. Next question. Point M lies between points L and N. So here is M on line LN. Okay, is M in the center? No, it is not a bisector because that is not the center, is it? Okay, if LN equals 12x plus 16, what is the length of LN in units? All right, so we have to figure out what the units are. So we've got to go back to our algebra here, okay? So LN is equal to 12x plus 16. Okay, this is LN. All right. We can also say that that is equal to LM plus MN, right? Addition postulate. All right, segment addition postulate, sorry. Okay, so let's say 10x plus 8 plus 5x minus 4. Okay, and I just picked those up right here because that told me my lengths of those segments. So let's combine some here. 12x plus 16 equals, we have 10x plus 5x gives us 15x, and 8 minus 4 gives us positive 4. Now, we want to put our x's on one side and our numbers on the other. So I'm seeing 15x on the right, so I'm going to subtract 12x from both sides. So that leaves me with 16 equals 3x plus 4. So now I'm going to subtract 4. Okay. So that's going to leave me, and I'm going to jump. Let's see. I'm going to jump across this way. Sorry, guys. Didn't leave me enough space. So 16 minus 4 gives me 12 equals 3x. Divide by 3. So I'm going to flip it around and say x equals 4. All right. Did they want to know x equals 4? No, that was not my question. The question was, what is the length of LN? So I can either take 10x plus 8 plus 5x minus 4 and substitute in x, or I can simply take the LN right here, 12x plus 16 equals LN. I can substitute in 4 for my x. That gives me 48 plus 16, which gives me 64 units. Okay. Refreshing some of our algebra on this one. Okay, moving along. Ray UW is the angle bisector of angle VUT. Okay, let's talk about that just a minute. Angle bisector. All right, that means, that tells us that UW is halfway in between. So these two pieces, these two angles are congruent, right? Okay, if the measure of VUW is equal to 4x plus 6, okay, that's the whole big angle. And the measure of angle WUT is 6x minus 10. What is the measure of angle WUT? All right, so let's figure out how we're going to do that. Now, they don't give us the measure of angle WUV, okay? But what do we know about that angle? Since UW is a bisector, we know that these two angles are congruent, right? So that tells us that the measure of angle WUV is also 6x minus 10, correct? Okay, so we can set up a problem very similar to the last one we did. We can say 4x plus 6, which is the whole big angle, is equal to 6x minus 10 plus 6x minus 10. Now, we could have said 2 times 6x minus 10, but I just didn't think about it in time. Okay, so 4x plus 6 equals 12x minus 20. Okay, let's subtract 4x from both sides. That leaves us with 6 equals 8x minus 20. Add 20 to both sides. So that leaves us with 8x equals 26. All right, did I do this correctly? I believe I did. All right, it's not coming out even. All right, so then we're going to divide by 8 on both sides. So 26 divided by 8 and 8x divided by 8 leaves us with x is equal to 3 point, let's see what that's going to give me. Let me put it in my calculator. $3.25. Sorry, it took me a minute there. All right, now we're going to go back up here, and the question was, what is the measure of WUT? So one of these angles, so 6x minus 10, so 6 times 3.25 minus 10 Okay, I did something totally wrong on this one. Let me stop the recording and figure out what I did incorrectly, and I will be right back.